The Washington Commanders are hitting the road for the second week in a row as they're set to face the Seattle Seahawks live from Lumen Field at 4:25 p.m. The Washington Commanders are looking to get back to 500 on the season and keep their name alive in the NFC wildcard chase. As for the Seattle Seahawks, they're coming off of a terrible loss to the Baltimore Ravens as they absolutely got embarrassed by the Ravens. They're 5-3 and not only looking to keep their name alive in the wildcard chase, but also looking to keep their name alive in that division race in the NFC West. Let's preview this game on the other side of the intro. Let's get straight to it.
Off field. Left. What I want.
I love the way she rock it. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she clap her hips, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's no beginner. She's confident. I love the way she move it.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another video, and in today's video I'm coming on here with my preview prediction for the Washington Commanders and the Seattle Seahawks. This is a huge game in the NFC as both teams are steady alive in the NFC playoff chase. As for the Washington Commanders, they're looking to make it 2 wins in a row as they beat the New England Patriots last week. The Seattle Seahawks are coming off of a terrible loss versus the Baltimore Ravens, and they're looking to get back into the win column led by Geno Smith live at home, so they have a good chance also. Let's talk about what this game is going to mean for both teams as they're looking to get a victory. For the Washington Commanders, they have 2 winnable games coming up after this game versus the Seattle Seahawks, so they need this win badly. The Washington Commanders are currently sitting at 4-5 on the season and are looking to get back to 500 as that is going to bolster their playoff chances. Right now, the Washington Commanders sit in the 8th hole with having an opportunity to get right back into the playoff picture with a victory on the road versus the Seattle Seahawks. As far as the Seattle Seahawks goes, they're looking to not only get a victory to boost their chances of getting a wild card spot, but they're very well in the thick of that NFC West race with the 49ers as the 49ers are struggling right now. Granted, the 49ers are coming off of a bye, so I expect them to be rejuvenated and potentially get a win this weekend. The Seattle Seahawks are looking to get that division crown, especially coming off of a loss versus the Baltimore Ravens as bad as it was. They know they're in Seattle. That is not how they get down, and they're looking to get back right. Geno Smith is leading the Seattle Seahawks into this game, and as for the Washington Commanders, it is going to be Sam Howell, obviously. This is a quarterback battle that, you didn't think you would be getting a couple years ago, if you ask me. But now these are 2 quarterbacks that are headed in 2 different directions, if you ask me. Geno Smith looks to be coming back down to earth after a ridiculous last year, and you have Sam Howell, the young pup that is looking to go up and is looking to tread in a upwards direction. Geno Smith is not bad, don't get me wrong, and he's very capable of shredding this Washington Commanders defense that is pretty bad with no pass rushers after getting rid of Chase Young and Montez Sweat. However, this offense of the Washington Commanders is brewing hot as they are coming off of a very, very good performance versus the New England Patriots led by Sam Howell with throwing over 300 yards for the 2nd consecutive week, and Eric Bieniemy seems to be finding his footing. These teams are very, very matched evenly in my opinion, and it could go either way. I know a lot of people think the Seattle Seahawks are a team that are very, very talented on both sides of the ball, and they are. I definitely agree. But I do think there are some weaknesses on the Seattle Seahawks team. I think you can get after them up front on the offensive line. I do think their pass rush is a little bit better, but if you ask me, their secondary is what scares me more than anything. They have Devin Witherspoon, they have Tariq Woolen, and if a healthy Jamal Adams is back there, that can be trouble. Also, Quandre Diggs. So their secondary is what scares me more so than their pass rush. They are having a solid season up front as they had a game earlier this year where they got after the New York Giants and they got 11 sacks on the year. Now, as a Washington Commanders fan, I can tell you that this offensive line has been much better, but it wouldn't be surprising if this offensive line got into some trouble early against the Seattle pass rush. But as far as the Washington Commanders goes, our defense versus their offense, I could definitely see this defense being pretty easy to pick apart for Geno Smith in a get-right game. I'll be honest with you. This pass rush is non-existent without Chase Young and Montez Sweat. And granted, it wasn't there with them really, but it was still that threat of them potentially getting back there because of their names. Now you're relying on KJ Henry, who is a rookie. You're relying on Casey Toohill, and you're relying on other guys like James Smith-Williams and F.A. Obata. Now, granted, those guys are players that play within the scheme. They aren't as talented as a Montez Sweat or a Chase Young. Now, as far as the run game goes, the defensive line was actually pretty stout against the run game outside of that one big run by Ramondre Stevenson. So Kenneth Walker is a guy that could get off on us, but doesn't really scare me at all. What scares me about this Seattle Seahawks offense versus our defense is that wide receiving trio of DK Metcalf, Jackson Njigba-Smith, and also Tyler Lockett. Those guys are scary. Or is it JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba? However, he's a rookie. He's a guy from Ohio State that is balling. So they give me fits, okay? And considering the fact that our young pup, Emmanuel Forbes, is coming off of his best game, I hope he doesn't give the Washington Commanders coaching staff confidence that he can mono DK Metcalf, because you're setting the young fella up for failure once again. Similar to what they did with him versus A.J. Brown. After A.J. Brown torched him a couple of times, that should have been a sign to tell you he can't handle him yet. I understand he's a first round pick. I understand he's a guy that was a ball hawk coming out of Mississippi State, but he's not ready yet. I think he has to guard the second, the third options as of now, and eventually years from now he can potentially grow into that number one cornerback that you're hoping. But right now, I think your best bet for DK Metcalf is either Kendall Fuller or Benjamin St-Juste. Those guys have not only played DK Metcalf before, but they're veterans and they can handle it. Right now, you need to put Emmanuel Forbes on Tyler Lockett and or Jackson Smith-Njigba, or Jackson Njigba-Smith, however you say the guy's name. Y'all know I'm talking about JSN. He's a quality talent, but I think Emmanuel Forbes, because he's a rookie, they're both rookies, they can handle each other. Now, granted, it's not going to be a easy task. It's not going to be something that is going to be that you can run from. They're going to scheme, especially if they watch film and seeing what A.J. Brown did to Emmanuel Forbes. They're going to scheme ways that their offensive weapons can get on one Emmanuel Forbes. So you're going to have your fair shares of chances against him. So you're going to just have to hope for the best. You got to hope that these safeties can help out. You got to hope that Jack Del Rio is drawing up some things that can help Emmanuel Forbes, like i.e. some blitzes, some things that can get after Geno Smith. Because if Geno Smith is rattled and he can't move, he isn't that good. But if you allow Geno Smith to have time, he can pick you apart because that arm is amazing. Now let's flip sides and look at the Washington Commanders offense versus the Seattle Seahawks defense. The Washington Commanders offense, similar to the Seattle Seahawks offense, have three great quality weapons. It seems like Curtis Samuel is going to be back this week. However, that is not a guarantee. But no worries, because you have two guys, Jamison Crowder and Byron Pringle, that have been coming up clutch. The Washington Commanders have Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson leading the pack. And they also have a quality tight end in Logan Thomas that can also be a passing threat, and Antonio Gibson in the backfield. So this offense is loaded. And they're coming off of their two best performances versus the Philadelphia Eagles and the New England Patriots. So if you ask me, this offense is trending upwards in the right direction. The Washington Commanders are looking to get a stellar victory on the road versus the Seattle Seahawks, as it is going to be a loud environment. So what are some keys to victory for the Washington Commanders in my opinion? Key to victory number one, you need to capitalize in the red zone. This was something that I didn't think I would have to talk about this year, because for the most part, outside of last week, this team has been stellar in the red zone. But last week was a rare occurrence this season where we was absolutely terrible in the red zone. So the Washington Commanders need to capitalize in the red zone. You cannot go 1 for 3, 1 for 4 this week against the Seattle Seahawks and expect to win. That is losing football right there. This is the Seattle Seahawks. This isn't the New England Patriots. You go 1 for 4, 1 for 3 in the red zone this week, you're going to lose, and you're going to lose bad. So we need to capitalize in the red zone. That means Sam Howell, no stupid plays. Throw the ball out the back of the end zone. Find the incompletion. You can't do what you did last week where you threw the interception in the end zone and killed that drive. Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, ball carriers, hold on to the ball. You cannot cause a fumble, because that is drive killers right there. Penalties, Charles Leno, Andrew Wiley, Chris Paul, Tyler Lawson, the guys up front, Sam Cosmi. You cannot have penalties. Those are drive killers. That is one thing that just drives me insane, is after you have a real good play, you then get a holding call, and now it's 2nd and 20. Or 1st and 20, and that's just a drive killer right there, because not all the time are you going to be able to get those yards back. Then after that, the next thing that I think the Washington Commanders need to do is establish the run game. I loved what Eric Bieniemy did last week. For me personally, I know if you're looking at the score sheet and you're looking at the box score, it's just going to say 20-17. But if you actually watch that game, Eric Bieniemy had a really good game as he found a way to remain balanced while also being a passing first offensive coordinator. Like, I believe Sam Howell still threw the ball like 40 plus times last week, but he still found a way to get the running backs their fair shares of carries. And what I liked the most was also the fact that he got Brian Robinson involved. Even though B-Rob did fumble, he still gave him the ball right back. He did not go away from Brian Robinson. He still went back to him, and that's what I love the most. Antonio Gibson had a fair share of good carries. You even had Alex Alma in there. So if we could find a way to stay balanced and get the running game involved while also remaining a pass-first offense, that is going to be great. And I think Eric Bieniemy has a good shot to continue to do that. And I think he's just getting right in his bag. Next key that I have is for the Washington Commanders to protect Sam Howell. The last couple weeks, similar to the offense getting going, a big reason as to why the offense has been going is because the offensive line has been much better. The first half of the season, Sam Howell was getting sacked like at a record pace. But since we made changes to the offensive line, inserting Chris Paul for Sadiq Charles and inserting Tyler Lawson for Nick Gates, the Washington Commanders offensive line has been much better. And we need to have another good week because although the Seattle Seahawks is not known for their pass rushers, they have some quality pass rushers and some guys they can get after the quarterback. So we need to find a way to neutralize that pass rush and give Sam Howell as much time as he can to find an open receiver. And that is going to be really good because when Sam Howell has no pressure in his face, he's a baller. He's a baller, and there's no questions or ifs, ands, or buts about it. So you need to find a way to keep him upright. That's 3 offensive keys. Now let's get to the defensive side of the ball. I think the Washington Commanders' first key to victory is to find a way to get after Geno Smith. As I mentioned before, Geno Smith is not this mobilized guy. He's not a Sam Howell. And Sam Howell's not the most mobilized guy, but he can get out the pocket, as we clearly seen on 3rd and 22. He's not a Sam Howell. He is pretty much a pocket passer. I give him some athleticism credit, but he's pretty much a pocket passer. And if you can get the opportunity to get after him and you have the opportunity to do that, you need to take advantage of it because he is a guy that is prone to turn over the ball if he has pressure in his face. And although we're missing Chase Young and Montez Sweat now, you still have some quality guys that can find a way to get to the quarterback, i.e. KJ Henry, who last week got robbed of a strip sack fumble. You have guys like F.A. Obata, who is also good at getting at the pass rush from the interior too. And then I need these 2 guys in the inside, Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen, to wake up. You don't really rely on your interior pass rush as much because it really is supposed to come from your edge rushers, but now that you don't have those 2 first-round picks there anymore, you have to rely on your pass rush from the interior to get after the quarterback. So we're going to need some help from those inside guys to set up these guys on the outside. I also feel like Jack Del Rio can do a job at scheming up some things, even though we know that's not his ideal thing. He still needs to find a way to do it because, again, if you don't, you're going to allow Geno Smith to sit back there all day long, and he's going to have an opportunity to carve you up, and that is a huge, huge mistake if you allow that to happen. Secondly, I think the Washington Commanders defensively need to find a way to neutralize their pass catchers. More specifically, Tyler Lockett. I know they got DK Metcalf, but I just feel like Tyler Lockett scares me more. Tyler Lockett is the most consistent receiver on their wide receiving core. So I think Tyler Lockett is the guy that's their X factor. Like, I already know what DK Metcalf is, and if he gets off, it is what it is. But Tyler Lockett just seems like that guy that just can be a pain in your side. That can just kill you. You know what I'm saying? So if we can find a way to neutralize that pass rush, because I don't expect us to neutralize DK Metcalf. He's gonna get his, okay? JSN, he's a rookie, so I mean he's solid, but again, he's a rookie and he can go off on you, but again, he's only 21 years old, and he's a guy that's okay. He's okay, but he hasn't like been explosive, but he can get after you. Tyler Lockett is that guy for me that I'm looking at like, we need to find a way to neutralize Tyler Lockett, because if we don't, he's going to get off on us, and he's going to be that receiver that breaks our back. Tyler Lockett is amazing. Next key for this Washington Commanders defense versus the Seattle Seahawks offense, find a way to get off the field on third downs. We cannot allow this Seattle Seahawks team to constantly pick up third downs. Are they going to pick up third downs here and there? Of course, it happens. You're not going to be perfect on third downs, or else you'll be blowing the team out. And hey, I would love that to happen, but don't get me wrong. I'm a realistic person. I know that sometimes they're going to pick up. They're going to pick up some type of third downs, but neutralize that and limit the third downs you give up. I'm talking about the 3rd and 8s, the 3rd and 9s, the 3rd and 10s, just the 3rd and longs. You cannot allow them to pick those up. 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, like that. It would be great if you can get off the field on 3rd and 2, but that's not a guarantee. That's like that. They're gonna pick that up at some times. But the 3rd and longs are the ones that I look at and just like you can't allow them to do that. Like you gotta neutralize them. You know what I'm saying? On them third and longs, you have to get after Geno Smith. So again, like I said, there are plenty more keys that I can get after, but those are just my main ones. Find a way to get after Geno Smith, neutralize their weapons, and get off the field on third downs. And I think that is a keys to success for the Washington Commanders this Sunday versus the Seattle Seahawks. Comment y'all's down below. But here's my final score prediction. I think it's going to be a tough one. I think Washington Commanders are going to get the victory 34-31, a walk-off field goal by Joey Sly. I think both defenses struggle stopping each other's offense, and it's going to come down to the wire, and Joey Sly is going to give the Washington Commanders the walk-off victory 34-31. What says you? Comment your score more down below in the comment section. Also, I want to ask you guys, do me a favor and comment something like this. I want to know, because I'm starting membership soon, but you know memberships cost money. What is something that would draw your interest into buying a membership to this channel? Please leave that down below in the comment section. I'm going to take that into consideration when I launch my memberships, so it can draw you guys into, you know, creating a more welcoming experience for you all. That's really what I want to do. I want to make you guys feel more, you know, loved and more into this channel, because without this channel, you know, without you guys, this channel does not stand a chance. So you guys are the engine behind this channel, so you deserve it. So what would it be? What would it take for you to buy a membership of this channel? Leave it down below in the comment section. Y'all have a blessed one. Enjoy y'all weekend, and I see y'all Sunday live play-by-play. Come watch the game with me here on YouTube at Juan Gotti Talking Sports. We're going live at 3:45. So see y'all Sunday. Y'all have a blessed one. Peace.